Being indispensable could be a problem for you when it comes to your career. Hi, this is Kenneth and welcome to my monologue. Everyone should strive to excel at their jobs and surpass their goals. However, this excellence becomes a problem when you become the reliable workhorse that gets the job done no matter what. I first noticed this curse of competence while serving my national service in the Singapore Armed Forces. I was from the mono intake group where the army saw it fit to gather all the uneducated folks like myself together for basic military training. We were a bunch of guys whose highest qualifications were a mix of N-levels, O-levels, NITEC and poly dropouts, whom we called the Polytechnic halfway dropout, PhDs. Though lacking in academic qualifications, some of the people I met while in the army were full of street smarts. My fellow men eventually noticed that those who responded immediately to the orders and any requests would be asked to do the work more often. Those compliant guys in the platoon had the curse of competence. So the thing was, the sergeants and officers were conscripts themselves. So why would they waste their time going through the hassle of trying to convince a soldier who would put up some resistance to do the work, when they could easily head over to a workhorse soldier that would just get to work immediately? These street smart men had stumbled upon a tactic of never agreeing to do anything when asked for the first time, or putting in the bare minimum of effort when they had no choice but to do the work. Plus points for wasting the superior's time by starting a back and forth on how someone else might be better suited for the job. There was much to gain from this tactic. It would let them have more admin time in the bunk and allow them to avoid the shitty jobs which, did not need the entire section of platoon to chip in. Alright, so back to my point on how being indispensable is not always a good thing. My army story focused on employees and how mediocrity can spread. But I now move on to managers and how they exploit those afflicted with the curse of competence. Over time, workhorses eventually become indispensable to a selfish manager who is only concerned with their own key performance indicators or KPIs, at the cost of the personal development of the workhorse. As a workhorse, you risk getting passed over for promotions or internal transfers out of the department because who else can do a better job than you? You may be even saving the department money because you are being paid to do more than your fair share of work. The word productivity might be thrown around quite a bit. The irony here is that your ability to do the job well has hindered your ability to progress in your organization. Before I move on to the next point on how to figure out if you've been afflicted by the curse of competence, help me out by liking this video and subscribing if you haven't done so. Now, back to the video. If you constantly hit your targets or do work beyond your job scope, you might see the bar being raised constantly. However, that alone is not enough to know if you've been cursed. The surefire way to figure out if you have the curse of competence is when you notice that your ability to achieve or surpass the targets are now seen as a sign that the targets were set too low for you. Another major indicator is having your targets adjusted multiple times throughout the year to match your ability level. And no, I'm not saying that you shouldn't aim for competence. I'm not suggesting that we all shouldn't get the job done either. The aim here is to be aware of the types of bosses and colleagues you have and only accept work on your terms. It's great to help each other out, but you want to ensure that the colleagues responsible for the job do the job instead of you doing the job for them. You also need to identify situations where it's a matter of your boss trying to showcase your abilities to the organization and helping you establish yourself, and identifying when they are grinding you down to the ground and squeezing every last bit of productivity out of you for the organization's gain before they toss you aside. There's no need to be a martyr in situations like this. Don't be the self-sacrificing fool. If you found value in this video, do me a favor and hit that like button. And I also have another video on the 2 things that insecure bosses do that may be of interest to you.